And we're going to be turning now to another escalating conflict, this one between the U.S. and Venezuela. For the second time this month, the U.S. military carried out a strike on a boat that the administration alleges was smuggling drugs from Venezuela to the U.S. President Trump shared a video of the strike on social media yesterday, showing a small boat suddenly erupting in flames. The president said 3 men whom he called narco-terrorists were killed in the strike. Yesterday, while speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, President Trump was asked if he could provide proof to back up his claim.
Well, we have proof. All you have to do is look at the cargo that was, like, it's spattered all over the ocean. Big bags of cocaine and fentanyl all over the place. And it was, plus we have recorded evidence that they were leaving.
And joining me now is Republican Congresswoman from Florida, Elvira Salazar. Thank you for making time to come in and sit with us today. I have been covering the issue with Venezuela and the boat that was struck by U.S. military off the coast. And have you been briefed officially on this yet? What are you learning?
We have not, but in reality, we know that you cannot expect anything good coming from Nicolás Maduro. To put it into context for your audience, Maduro is the head. He's not the legitimate president of Venezuela.
Longtime leader, though.
He lost the elections 80-20. I mean, he has to be out. But besides that he stole the elections, he has been the head of one of the drug cartels for the last 20 years called the Cartels of Solis. It's very important for everyone to know that the Venezuelan leadership is in the drug trafficking business. So this is the third boat that I hear that we have struck. And I understand that those who were on the boat it was an unfortunate destiny. But Maduro doesn't want anything good for the United States.
And the White House does classify his government as a narco terror cartel.
Yes, they are.
And there are concerns, though, about the use of force in this way with the president, where we don't really have evidence about the specifics of these incidents. Have you been given any evidence? Have you seen any evidence to be certain that the boat that was taken out in each of these incidents is what they say it is?
And I understand that that's a concern, but it comes from the Joint Chief of Staff. And reality is that we are not in the business of striking boats that are carrying, I don't know, salmon. Nothing
but that's
good,
part of the concern, right?
Nothing good
sideways.
comes from Maduro. If Maduro were to be legitimate, he would have allowed the DEA and the CIA and the FBI and everyone to come in and negotiate and say, okay, let me prove to you that I am not in the drug trafficking business. But he is, him and his leadership and the other 3 henchmen who are around him. Maduro needs to go, and I salute the president, and I'm not always, I'm not with the president on every single issue, but with this one, I am. He's doing very well in taking him out. And, you know, it's easy. Maduro could negotiate his way out. Listen, Maduro negotiated with the Biden administration something called the Barbados Accords that he promised on writing to Biden that if he lost the election, he was going to leave. And he didn't, because they are a bunch of thieves. And now they're not only stealing, politically speaking, but economically and in the drug cartel business.
So you agree with the premise the White House is carrying out? Any concerns on the tactics?
No concerns, because the problem is that Maduro doesn't wish anything good for us. He has been wanting to he has been wanting to harm us for a long time. But on top of that, he has kidnapped the Venezuelans. We're talking about that 8 million Venezuelans left. We're talking about that they have the largest reserves of oil in the world.
Do you think the U.S. should engage in efforts to bring about regime change?
Of course, and I'm sure that this is the beginning of the end, because we cannot allow for Maduro to be in the drug trafficking business, harming our children, pushing fentanyl and helping.
The Secretary of State hasn't gone that far, though.
Well, I'm sure that he has not, but I'm sure he's thinking it. And he's doing it. That's another official that is doing a fantastic job, Marco Rubio, who happens to be my constituent.
And do you think there is anything that we've seen here in this sort of provocation with Venezuela that could result in boots on the ground? The president said, I'll go after the cartels even on land. Do you envision it going that direction?
And this is a cartel, just like the Sinaloa cartel. Not only that, remember that Maduro is in the drug trafficking business, as we have discussed, but he's also given a platform. Venezuela is a platform for our enemies. We're talking about Russia, Iran. We're talking about Hezbollah, Hamas. We have a bunch of those thieves and thugs in Venezuela trying to harm the United States, not only through drugs, but infiltrating our country with silent cells. So Maduro, and I assure you, I've been covering this for 25 years, is no good for the Venezuelans or for the Americans. And on top of that, you have the opposition leader in Caracas begging the White House to allow her to be able to bring a free Venezuela again and to have a democracy like it was before 50 years, friends with the United States. And they have been friends with us for 50 years, but Maduro and Chavez stole the country 25 years ago.
I know we'll be following this, and we will certainly check back with you because you do know the issues and you're passionate about it. Let me turn to another thing that is certainly on your plate with Capitol Hill, and that is we are approaching October. That's the fiscal year for the federal government. There is a plan to try to provide funding through most of November. Where are you on what's known as a continuing resolution?
I am sure that Mike Johnson, this morning we were talking about that. We're going to present a continuing resolution until November 20th. That's going to give time for us to do what you call ordinary process, which is doing it the right way, being able to vote on each one of the appropriation packages. And that's going to happen. And the American people will not be concerned of having to have a shutdown.
So you're a yes on a CR?
Of course, because we want to keep the government open, right? Yeah,
understand that. Any concerns about the can being kicked down the road yet again?
No, because this time we have, out of the 12 legislation, we have been able to pass 3. And then we're going to, the cardinals, as they call it, they're continuing to work on each of the bills. And the American people, for the first time in 100,000 years, is going to be able to have each appropriation bill voted by Congress the right way, the way that should have been done years ago.
Now, one of the concerns is that as this current budget comes to an end, there are subsidies for health care under the Affordable Care Act that would come to an end. Would you support funding to continue those subsidies to make health care affordable?
If you like Obamacare, you keep Obamacare. And if we're helping you because you need it, my district needs that help, and I'm more than willing to continue giving
with the subsidies continued.
We have to study it. Let's see what we're voting on. But I do know that I'm not taking health care away from anybody.
Or the affordability for it.
Of course.
And let's talk a little about the environment we're in. I'm sure you have felt the weight of these events this week and all of the pressure that's on members of Congress. I'm sure you've contemplated your own security when you are doing events and engaging with the public. Where do you think we are right now? Is there a moment of unity, or has it really been retreating to differing sides in this?
No, it's a moment of unity because we have seen the political violence that we are experiencing, that Dems or Republicans, we don't want that. That's not the way we do business, politically speaking. Right now, as you mentioned that in conference today, some members were very concerned because their lives could be in danger. And specifically, this group of legislators, and I'm part of them, that we are fighting Marxism. I mean, I'm the daughter of political refugees. My parents are Cuban Americans. Don't we love the system? Don't we hate Marxism and everything that it brings, even though they may promise everything they want to promise, in reality is miserable. And there's this group called the Armed Queers Group that were training radical Marxists to shoot firearms at who? Us. So we're very concerned because I've always said that Marxism is a nefarious ideology that has penetrated the political scene in this country, and we do definitely have to be very concerned. And I'm very concerned with a mayor, the potential new mayor for New York City, Mr. Mondami, who's promising democratic socialism.
And,
what is that?
And in terms of the tone, do you feel that you are experiencing a cooperative tone? There's a lot of talk about whose side and who's responsible. Do you feel there's a unifying tone at this moment?
Within the GOP, there is. And we do know.
Doesn't it need to be broader?
Well, of course, of course. I mean, I have not really had the opportunity. It's so recent what happened with Charlie Kirk. But we do need to hear from the Dems that we're united when it comes to no political violence. Listen, political violence is in Venezuela and in Cuba and in North Korea and in Iraq and in China and in Russia, but not in the United States. We are the beacon of hope. We're the ones that we have to set the way of and show civility, political civility to the rest of the world, aren't we? If not, I mean, I don't know who else is. because I was a reporter for many years. I covered a lot of countries, and I'm telling you, we're still the best there is around.
Appreciate your talking about how this country should not embrace political violence. Thank you for your time today and coming over to see us in person and your insights on these very hot issues in our national dialogue right now. Thank you so much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.